Yo, what's up, fam? If you're listening on Friday, December 15th, it's the official release date of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. But more importantly, it's the official release date of Redbeard Podcast, Episode 106, The Last Red Guy, which I'm speculating could be either the ginger host or the Native American host. You're just going to have to listen to find out. No spoilers. And speaking of no spoilers, I got to see Star Wars yesterday. What? Yeah. Jim didn't get to go because, he's got a girl, and Tony didn't get to go because he's got work. But keep listening for my spoiler-free reaction to the movie. This is not going to end the way you think. In other news, the FCC voted to repeal net neutrality, leaving the internet fatally wounded and in critical condition. We're going to let you know what that means and how we feel about it. But hey, Funko released a new line of Mortal Kombat pop vinyl figures, and they're awesome. Plus, Disney bought Fox. I'm Cooley, and this is the Redbeard Podcast.
Do it in a hat, and how about that? Do it red hair, and I don't care. Redbeard Podcast. Redbeard Podcast. Redbeard Podcast. Gonna kick your ass. Redbeard Podcast. Yeah. Redbeard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes. Yeah.
Supply and demand investing, where not all investments are created equal.
Yo, Tony, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Yo, man, want to play a game of Would You Rather?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Word. Yo, so would you rather invest in eBay at a 0% dividend per year over the course of 3 years, or invest in Amazon at a 0% dividend per year over the course of 3 years?
Oh, dude, that's easy, man. I would go with Amazon because Amazon makes a killing. They sell everything, and I use Amazon like twice a week, and I know that they are killing it this month in the Christmas season.
All right, well, that's that. I think that's a sound decision. Find out if you made the right decision by checking supplyanddemandinvesting.com/redbeard.
Supply and demand investing is here to offer guidance when it comes to investing. Whether you want to invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or exchange-traded funds, supply and demand investing is here to help.
And unlike the buy and hold method of investing of the past, supply and demand investing is comparative to any good sports team. There are good times to play offense by investing your hard-earned money in things like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, real estate, or international equity. And there are times to play defense by investing in fixed income, higher dividend-paying assets like bonds, CDs, or cash. So check out supplyanddemandinvesting.com/redbeard.
Yo, what's up, guys? We got Jim and Tony in the house. What's up?
What's up?
Hello, Tony. Hello, Cooley. Hello, fam.
Hello, fam.
Yeah, fam.
Yo, dude, so just wanted to drop some knowledge on people that we do have a sick interview for you guys, as always. We've had the past couple weeks with one of our coolest interviews that we had, in my opinion, over the Revenge of the Nerds cast. I mean, they were all super great, but this guy gave us some behind-the-scenes stuff that has never been heard before. So tune in. It was Andrew Cassess. He actually played Wormser. If you guys aren't familiar, he was the nerd who was kind of like between the two girls, with the two boobs scene. That was really fun. So he gave us some inside information on that. So stay tuned at the end of the episode.
I also love the rundown of the topics earlier. You're like, the internet is going to be no more. Everyone's going to be shocked. Followed by, we also got some brand new pop figurines coming out. Mortal Kombat, is that correct?
That's exactly it.
Everyone just had a sigh of relief, like, oh, thank God. At least those pop figurines will be available.
So, I mean, like the internet is in dire straits right now, man. It's
serious stuff.
I mean, like I don't understand how something like this even happens.
Did the law officially pass?
No, it still has to go through Congress.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that it's gotten that far is kind of surprising.
We're gonna get to it a little later, right? I don't want to.
Yeah,
I figured we just do it now.
Yeah, let's get to it. Time we were talking about it.
And then go lighthearted as we go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, I just feel it's one of these big decisions that I don't think a lot of people even knew about, and then to actually read more information about it and see that this is actually a reality is pretty damn scary. I mean, how long have we actually just had access to the internet with no boundaries?
Right.
Like, I never thought that was anything that would ever change. And the fact that, like, I'm going to have to pay for free information really bothers me. I mean, I don't see how anybody wouldn't be pissed off about this. Like, I already pay for my internet through my carrier. I pay for my Verizon Fios to have internet in my house. And now I'm going to have to pay for stuff that I want to access. Like, it just makes no sense. And if they're going to charge us per search, I'm gonna move to Canada. I'm gonna go to Europe. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I'm probably just gonna check out completely.
Well, that's if this law passes. And for those who
well, it's not really a law. It's not legislation. It's the FCC.
Okay, well maybe I don't exactly know what this entails. So basically, what you're saying is service providers are now granted the ability to restrict what you can look up on the internet based on what they decide is acceptable for you, and they can charge you extra for how fast or slow certain sites can run.
Exactly.
Well, not only how fast or slow, just if you can access
if they
them
can
at
access
all.
them at all.
Yeah. So
they can push forth their
music
own
packages.
agenda.
But
if you think about it, if there's something political that Verizon or whatever carrier you have doesn't agree with, they can shut that site down completely.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The other thing that the problem is, like, you know, Cooley and I were talking about this earlier, like, and, you know, you brought up a good point that, like, smaller companies aren't necessarily going to have a chance because these other companies can literally just, like, decide that advertisement is not going to be shown, which I don't know how that's actually going to happen, though, because say a smaller company is actually paying for advertisement, you're telling me that other company just can't show it even though it's being paid for. Like, I feel like there's a lot of everything's not so black and white just yet.
You're a internet host, or maybe you're a large website. Let's say you're like newsarama.com.
Sure.
And Newsarama is like
that
a big
site?
It's a big comic book
I don't
news
do
site.
Politics.
It's a comic book news site.
It's comic books.
Yeah, but they
it's the same thing.
But they
Superman, Condoleezza Rice.
Let's say
they're
sell
all one.
Condoleezza Rice.
Let's say they sell an ad to a small business, and let's say Verizon says Newsarama is not, they're not paying enough to get traffic, so we're gonna like slow them down, right? So they'll make it very difficult for you to get to that website. So the person that's paying is going to lose out because they may have a website on a highly trafficked website, but now that net neutrality is gone, it may not be highly trafficked anymore because people are going to be pissed off that they can't get to it. So they're going to find another source of information for comic books, which may be a favored website by Verizon. Verizon might be like, oh, I like comicbooks.com and not newsarama.com. So they'll get preferential treatment, especially if they're paying Verizon.
I was just going to say it all depends on how much they're willing to pay.
Right, but Comcast might give Newsarama the upper hand. Right? So it's one of those things where like it's going to take a long time for something like this to even out if it starts to go downhill like we're all predicting it will.
Do you honestly think that it will?
I think that
I feel like enough people will realize how bad this is that they're gonna put a kibosh to it.
Like who though? Who like the internet companies, like the ISPs,
well,
because they're the ones that are gonna benefit.
I just can't see Congress passing this.
I don't either.
But Congress doesn't have. I mean, it has to go.
It has to go through Congress, but if they don't
it has to go
agree
through
on
the
it,
courts, not necessarily Congress. Congress has nothing to do with it. The only thing that Congress can do, is pass a law saying that it's unlawful to do it.
which
So
I feel like it should be.
if they do, great. They still have an opportunity to. We haven't seen anything from them yet. Everybody's been talking about it. They all talk a great talk, but nobody did anything to stop the vote, which they could have done. So we're at this point now where the vote's gone through and FCC is moving ahead. They just have to go through the checks and balances, and it's pretty much a done deal. But
God, the FCC sucks so bad.
The problem is that it's already being done in other countries. Like there are other countries where there's no net neutrality law, or no net neutrality rule that says that they can't do that. So like you got and this is where I'm getting the idea from, that they're going to section off the internet because it's already being done in other countries. Portugal, I mean, like they don't have any net neutrality law or rule in place, and like they've got their internet sectioned off like we are afraid is going to happen to us. I mean, it's being done out there, and because it's being done, it's like these companies are going to have the idea in their head, and they say it's not going to happen, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, but that would be like $5 for messaging. If you're looking at like Portugal's layout, it's like $5 to messaging. If you're going to use like any video streaming, that's another $5. If you're going to use apps like Snapchat and Instagram, that's another $5. So it's like, I mean, think about how that's actually going to add up per month, what you already pay. Like, so you say you have like a phone plan with Verizon where you pay like $80 a month. That includes unlimited data. That's not going to be a thing anymore because you're going to have to pay $5 on top of what you already pay for data, for messaging, for video streaming, for Snapchat and Instagram. So all of these things that we take for granted right now, you're also going to have to pay for. So social media is going to take a huge hit because people aren't going to be able to just hop on Instagram on a whim as often as you'd like because you're going to have to pay for it.
Right, and you're going to have some people that aren't going to be able to afford to have like the ultimate package that has everything, and they're going to have to make some hard choices. They're going to have to figure out, do I want to be able to get emails from my doctor and work, or do I want to, fuck around with my friends on Facebook? Like at some point, they're going to have to make that hard choice and just ditch Facebook or Snapchat because that people have to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Of course,
so,
it's basically what do you want more? Do you want your Facebook? Or do you want Netflix?
Yeah, we're gonna. I mean, there's gonna be a time we're gonna remember
choices.
Yeah, we're gonna remember this. We're gonna like mark these days like as the last days that you're able to actually freely search something on Google.
You know what's weird, man? It's like I think like this almost doesn't really seem real when you talk about it. Like just because you like if you grew up with the internet. With it not being a thing, like in the beginning of your life, like somebody who's my age, like the internet was like really blew up when I was in high school. So having free internet for all this time and then actually realizing that you're going to have to pay for a lot of these things is like the most mind-blowing thing to me. And on top, it feels like it's not real. Like it feels like you're going to be living in like the world of the movie Equilibrium where like they don't have like people control what you have access to. Like in that movie, they didn't let you like have any attachment to any kind of art. Like everybody was emotionless, and it's like that was just. And I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like that, but it was just a form of control that the government had over its society. And I feel like this is going to have some sort of control over the information that you can access, and I think that's bullshit.
Well, in a way, it does feel like some sort of a control over your freedom.
And that's what bothers me. It's like, fuck you for like telling me what I can and can't look up. If it's information, I should be able to search for that.
I think if this... I apologize.
No,
I think
of
if
course.
this does pass, this is going to strongly affect the generation that came after us. Because we're Generation X.
Right.
And the millennials are the Facebook generation. They're the ones that are addicted and just wired in to Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and just every other social media. That's how they live their life. We used to pick up phones and call people and go over their house and play video games together in the same room. And now people put on headsets and just, play against people from Asia. And that's all going to be taken away, I feel like, in a sense. It's going to be taking the Jetsons and putting them in a Flintstones environment.
That's actually a good analogy.
It's really a lot like the way that drug dealers approach the game. They give you samples. They give you the
just
high.
A taste. Get you addicted to it.
And then once you're addicted to it and you can't live without it, quote unquote. Now, you got to pay for it.
You know what I was gonna say?
And you'll find a way.
Yeah. Earlier when we were talking about that and you made that point about like the millennials, it's sad to think this, but I honestly feel like this is the way that it could go, as dark as this gets. So in the environment that I work in, every day I deal with people that have issues with technology, whatever, and I've seen how millennials deal with not being able to work with Snapchat or Instagram for a very short period of time, and how serious it is for them. I can't even imagine saying you're not going to be able to have this unless you can pay for it, and they can't afford that. I wouldn't be surprised if you would see like suicide rate go up. Like,
that's
like,
dark,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Isn't that dark as hell? But that shit could go that way.
I can see that. I can see the depression rate just
right
skyrocketing.
And that's what's, I think, the scariest part. It's like I lived with this stuff for a long time without it, and I know that I could live without it, but some people just can't.
No.
Because there's a lot of folks that need this to stay in touch with people that are close to them, have met people in these areas, and you got people that fall in love on friggin' World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've had World of Warcraft weddings.
Yeah, seriously.
So I mean, like, these are the people that I think are going to be super affected. I mean, I want to stop. I mean, I think at some point, like, if it gets too out of hand, I'll just stop. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can cut my ties because I lived for so many years without it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can go back to that, but there are going to be people, like you said, that they grew up with it. They're not going to be able to do it. I don't think they're going to be able to live with it.
Exactly, man, and that's scary.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, enough of the depressing bull crap.
Hell yeah, man.
Can I honestly say it's a scary thought?
Mm-hmm.
That this is where we might be heading.
Yeah.
But truthfully, in my heart of hearts, I don't think that's going to happen.
I hope not.
I think that someone or something is going to ride in on a white knight and go, "Hey, what are you, fucking stupid? Look at what you're doing."
Yeah. Well,
Hopefully.
We stay away from politics, but I mean, it all starts at the top.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, like, we'll see what happens. And, if there's going to be any redeeming qualities to the man in the big chair, then this is going to be his time to shine. But I don't think it's going to happen because I think it all started there in the first place.
Word.
But moving on and getting into some more interesting and uplifting topics.
Hey, Cooley, what movie did you see yesterday?
Well, if you haven't been listening since the beginning of this wonderful episode, I saw Star Wars yesterday.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Yeah.
So the new one?
So let me ask you this. When it said, like, The Last Jedi, did everybody clap?
No, it did, but it never did that. It never went The Last Jedi.
Well, it had like the scroll at the beginning of the screen.
Well, yeah. Well, no, nobody clapped at that, and it was weird because I'm used to that. But I think over the years, as I've seen Star Wars movies, people clap when they see the 20th Century Fox fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
More on that later. But that's no longer, shown at the beginning of Star Wars films because that was Fox. This is Disney.
Right.
Do they still show Lucasfilms?
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, yes, I'm pretty sure they did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they did. They always have in the past, and I'm pretty sure I did see that. But it was so fast that I just kind of.
Whenever I see movies, whenever I see Star Wars movies in the theater, I always yell out, "Start Wars," when it says Galaxy Far, Far Away. Did anybody do that while you were there?
No.
Because they're not assholes.
Right.
Like I am.
And you weren't there.
Start Wars.
But
That's awesome.
It was a good movie, man. It was a good movie just based on movies. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily because it's a Star Wars movie. Like, if it wasn't a Star Wars movie, if it was just another space movie or whatever, or even if it wasn't even in space, if they took that same story arc and put it on Earth in like World War II or something like that, like, it was a great war story. With like different things going on that had to be done and stuff like that. And then of course you had the fantasy elements with the Last Jedi, and you had the the evil Sith-like people, because they're not really Sith. Like
they're the
Snoke
First
and
Order.
yeah, Snoke
Right.
and Kylo Ren. They're not Sith. They're the First Order, but they're users of the Force, and they use the dark side of the Force, but they're not Sith.
And they still have stormtroopers.
Right. Yep, stormtroopers. And TIE fighters, and like all the vehicles, and like everything was there. Everything was represented. I'm trying very hard not to give spoilers away, so I don't want to like get into too much about the movie. But if you have any questions that are non-spoilerific, go ahead and fire away, because I would love to like answer stuff that you want to know.
How do you think Star Wars fans will take this movie?
I think that there's going to be a split down the middle. Most people that are reviewing this film are saying that it's the best Star Wars film since Empire Strikes Back.
That's what I've heard.
I am...
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I am going to say that it's the best film that's come out since Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion. Like, it's very close to Rogue One, which I had said that about previously. And it blows every other film out of the water, because Rogue One to me was the best film since Empire Strikes Back, and may have been better than Empire Strikes Back. And I say may have, because I'm still uncertain on it. I have to watch that about 25 more times before I can honestly say that it's better, because that's just being honest, because that's how many times I saw Empire Strikes Back.
I have that on my next Flicks queue. Again, I saw it with my girl. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to watch it again. As a matter of fact, my girlfriend just got all the Star Wars, and she's going to watch them all in succession before she's going to see The Last Jedi. It's that big of a deal. And I've heard nothing but great things about it. But I have heard that there are some twists in this movie that some Star Wars fans might not like.
I don't know that they won't like it. They're not going to expect it, though. And if we're talking about expectations, some fans want this to be a predictable film. They want it to be something that just fits with the Star Wars lore and follows what they want it to be, the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy, and they want it to like fit that mold and that format. And when it's finished and they watch it, they want to be able to complain about it copying Empire Strikes Back, but they can't. So I think that this is really going to mess with a lot of people's heads, because this is nothing like any Star Wars film that came before it. Like, I can't compare it to anything. I can't say this is like this Star Wars film.
Which is a good thing, because The Force Awakens, you can make a whole lot of comparisons to A New Hope.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
what.
You're telling me this is not that. It's gone off into its own legit storyline.
It's moved the story forward in a way that no other Star Wars film has.
But I also feel like that was to be expected, because you're going into a realm that has since been unexplored. So the storyline is going to change, and there are going to be a lot of new developments. Whereas, like if you're comparing, if you're watching a film like Rogue One, it's a prequel to almost like to A New Hope.
Right.
So you're basically trying to actually like connect the dots and reference everything, and where that's going to end up. Whereas like this, and that like after A New Hope comes Empire Strikes Back and so forth, and like how everything kind of pieces together. Whereas this one, it's a whole new development. So yeah, I mean, you're going to see things change that haven't been done before, because nobody knows where it goes, Yeah,
it's like, it's just awesome, man. Like you are going to watch a movie. When you see this, you're going to watch a movie that you are going to see, everything you see is unexpected. Everything you see is not something that you saw coming.
All right, man. And how long is this? 2.5 hours?
About that, yeah. Like it was a long movie, but like I didn't expect it like I didn't
Like
feel it.
a long movie, yeah.
Like I checked my watch just because like it felt like it was going by quick, but it also felt like there were a lot of points in the movie where I felt like, oh, this is about to wrap up. What's going on? And you look at your watch and it's like, dude, there's like another hour left, and like you just get this like good feeling because it's like awesome. I get to like watch more of this, and I could have stayed there for like 12 hours watching this one movie. If it was a 12-hour movie, I would have probably enjoyed the entire thing. It was that much eye candy, that much stimulation, where I was just like watching it and like I was getting like emotionally, like I had emotional reactions. Like there were times where I like, I felt sad, I felt tension, I felt overwhelming joy to the point where I was so happy that my eyes were welling up, like I was starting to get like tears.
And from what I've heard too, I mean, like that was a similar reactions to what happened in LA at the premiere. Like a lot of people actually went to this, and it was like they were like, there's a whole like Twitter moment that came out like one of the best Star Wars films I've ever seen. Like they definitely are going in the right direction. They did something right. This is amazing. Like everybody will be very pleased with this movie. Like there wasn't really any negative reaction, except for I think there was maybe like one, but I saw it like outside of that moment. It was like not my favorite Star Wars movie, but still enjoyed it. Like there was still a positive to it. Right. So I feel like there's I agree with you a lot. Everybody that I know that has seen it has liked it, except for one person, but I have yet to kind of talk to them about it.
I would like to state that I am shocked that this movie, because I looked everything up pretty much today. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I don't know everything about it. And I was shocked that the director, Rian Johnson, is a relative unknown. He's made a couple of movies, but this is legit his his fifth movie that he's directed. And before this Star Wars movie, he's basically known for Looper, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis, which was excellent. It was a very well done sci-fi movie. And then before that, I'd say his other big one was Brick, again with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which was kind of like a noir movie.
I feel it was kind of like an indie movie though. Like it wasn't really big.
No, it wasn't.
Like it was kind of like
it was an art house movie.
It was like it was an independent, Yeah.
And then I just feel like from there, all of a sudden, hey, he's doing Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he has his own trilogy.
That's what you were telling me.
Yeah, and it's not a Skywalker trilogy. He gets to actually create it from the ground up, but it's set in the Star Wars universe, so it's got to follow all the rules that were made for this world. So he's not building his own world. He's actually got to follow all the stuff that's come before, but he gets to create his own characters and work with them. And I have a feeling you get to actually meet one of the characters that may be involved in his trilogy in this film, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you see the movie. There are actually a couple of new characters in the film that are surprisingly deep, well thought out, and bring a lot to the mythos of Star Wars. Like, I mean, a lot of people are going to love this. A lot of people are going to come at because like one of the things and I talked about this just before we started talking on air, and basically like there's the people that are not going to like this are there are a couple of things that happen in the film that of course are going to make people not like the film, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you see the movie. I keep saying this because I don't want to say what it is, but then there are other things that are just like movie related, like just the humor that they have in the film. Like it seemed like they kind of went overboard with like adding so much humor to it, which I wasn't a big fan of, just because like Star Wars has always had kind of like this real serious tone throughout. But I didn't hate it. I would have hated it more if it kind of detracted from the characters.
And that it didn't. And
it didn't, because like the characters were written very well. They weren't out of character at all. It was just the stuff that was happening in the environments. Some of the aliens that they showed, it was just overly cutesy and like kind of goofy and like corny, and it screamed Disney to me. And there were moments in The Force Awakens
cash grab.
Yeah, and there were moments in The Force Awakens that screamed Disney to me. So it's something that's, and even Rogue One, which was one of the more which is one of the darker films, had some Disney elements to it. And it's like I can like be pissed at that, or I can just accept it because it's fucking Disney that's doing the movies. So
I was
like,
just gonna say you're gonna have to accept it.
yeah, what am I gonna do? It's just like when they start doing that shit in Alien and Predator, you're gonna know what I'm talking about when I say that. You know what I mean?
like when the alien and the predator like hug each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna.
No, we know that's not going to happen. But when
Face hug.
But when two of the Space Marines are like, you know, dancing around like, yeah, we did it. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna go up your ass for a minute.
Yeah, that's when I'm gonna commit suicide.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God.
But yeah, no, go see the movie. You know, form your own opinions. Couple of weeks later, when I know, because nobody's gonna wait 5 weeks to see this shit. In a couple of weeks, we'll revisit this conversation.
I'm going to see it on Thursday.
Yeah, and we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna go balls to the wall with the fucking spoilers, and we're just gonna talk about everything because there's 2.5 hours worth of stuff that happens, and none of it drags.
We're gonna have like a podcast dedicated to Star Wars.
It'll be
The
one
Last
whole
Jedi.
episode. Whole episode.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
do
just
it.
nerd out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah.
How do you feel about going forward? There's no more Jedi.
I'm fine with that. It's a natural evolution. I mean, it's the same as saying, hey, how do you feel about going forward? There's like no more who are those guys? The French guys.
The French guys.
What?
That's wicked vague.
That doesn't narrow it
The
down.
Knights.
The what?
Conquistadors?
Yeah, no, those are the Spanish guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
those are Spanish.
But even so, like it's like how would you feel if like there were no more conquistadors going? What are they, conquistadors? I can't even say it.
It's like I live in a world where I go to Stop and Shop to buy food. I no longer have an Almax that I can go to.
Yeah, exactly.
It hasn't destroyed my world because there's no Almax.
No, but
Damn.
it's just an order that's
I
kind of
can't go to Apex anymore.
no. It's just it's kind of an order that faded away. It's like it's an ancient order, you know. There's no like, geez, I can't remember the name of these guys. Like, the Templars.
Oh, the Templars. Okay.
Of course, yeah.
You know, to me, it's kind of like the Templars who
I
like
miss them.
it's like there are no more Templars. Well, who gives a shit?
There's
Oh, you
still,
can thank Ezio.
There's no
for that.
place in the world for them right now. You know what I mean?
there's still lightsabers though, right?
Well, a couple for Kylo and Rey.
Nice.
And who knows? Maybe somebody else out there's got a lightsaber or something. But we'll see.
Yeah. Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Speaking of which, Ren is not here this week. She'll be back next week.
Yes, she will.
Miss you, Ren.
Miss you.
Kylo.
So Tony got a new car,
Yeah.
and Disney got a new studio.
Nicely done.
Thank
well
you.
played, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Jesus. Disney buys Fox.
Like straight up, just like $52 billion.
$52.4 billion. There
It's
you
like
go.
Bruce Wayne.
Let's just write a sweet check for that.
Yeah. They,
So,
they were just like, yo, how much you want for it?
man.
Or probably just went in and was like, yo, $52.4 billion, take it or leave it. And Fox was just like, what are we going to put out that's going to make us that? Nothing.
Can you just imagine the boardroom that these people were in, like all suited out, like packets of stacks of paper there, just like all signing with like millions of lawyers present.
The shit that you know what really gets me about this merger?
What?
You know what made me laugh?
What?
Was like Fox. So the execs at Fox were at the table with the execs from Disney, and they're trying to work this out. And like for some reason, like the execs at Fox were like, "All right, so we're gonna sell you all this stuff, but you can't have Fox News." Like that's not part of the deal. Like they're like, that's
Fox.
whoa, guys, that's not part of the deal. You want Fox News? You gotta up the ante. Like Fox News is the worst news. Like
Yeah,
ever.
but they pride themselves on that, man.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Disney doesn't care. That's not.
No.
That's
No,
not.
Disney didn't want Fox News. I actually, you know what? I take it back, because now that I'm talking about it, Disney was probably just like, you know what, guys, keep Fox News. You guys keep Fox News.
You want your own little pet project?
Yeah.
Be my guest.
But yeah, so like, I mean, like this is huge for Disney.
Oh, it's
So-
huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
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 So we're talking we're talking. Just talk about the Marvel stuff for now that everybody's been like going crazy for. Dude, they got the X-Men back. They got Fantastic Four back.
Which I heard a rumor today. I have not gone to the extent to look it up due to time constraints, but I heard from someone at work that because X-Men is going to have another shot, probably a reboot in some extent, I'm sure they would be doing that Hugh Jackman said he would come back one more time.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, Hugh Jackman did say that he would come back one more time, but I think that was more if this was a thing that he said a long time ago, but I think that was if Fox made a deal with Disney in a similar fashion as when Sony made a deal with Disney to use Spider-Man.
Right.
So if Disney was going to use Wolverine or any of the X-Men characters, Hugh Jackman was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Now, that being the case, now with it being like different from what he was expecting, like with them, it's just straight up owning Fox.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't want him to come back now.
I feel
like he just ended it on a good note.
He did. He ended it on a great note. And here's the thing: like he retired. He said, "I'm done." And Disney is getting these characters back, so they're gonna want to do something new with them. They're gonna want to put something together, and I want to see what they do. Their casting has been phenomenal, so I want to see who they pick. I want them to have a chance. It's like a new head coach coming to the Giants.
Yep.
Right. I want to give them a chance to pick some of the people that they're gonna have on their team. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love our team, like some of the people on the team and stuff like that. There are some people that I could do without, and it's like I want them to get give them some new faces, give them a fresh team. If they just clean house and put a whole new team on the field, I wouldn't be upset at this point because like they should just nuke that shit and rebuild. But this isn't about the Giants. This is about I get sidetracked. But this isn't about that. This is about Disney and buying the X-Men and Fox and doing something new with them. And I want them to have their own team. Put it all together. The only thing that they need to keep, just like I think they need to keep Eli Manning, the only thing they need to keep is Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is, to me, he's Deadpool. Like,
I don't think they're taking that away.
I don't think that they would take away Deadpool, and I don't think that they would change anything with Deadpool. We were talking about this as well. It's like, oh well, what is Disney going to do with Deadpool? Are they going to actually like make it more like user friendly? Like, oh, is it going to be more like family friendly? But it's like Deadpool worked because of the way that it was filmed and because he has no filter, and I think that Disney realizes that, and they know that if they screw with that, they're also going to mess up the fandom that comes along with it. And I feel like they need to be very, very careful with Deadpool right now because it's working, and if they screw it up, they could really screw it up. And I think they're smart enough to not do that and leave it alone.
Yeah, I think they're smart enough with allowing Marvel to take their products and flesh it out the way they deem fit.
Right.
Because Marvel knows best. Deadpool, I understand it was Fox, but it was so close to the comic book character that it worked.
Right. But it's one of those things where, it's still going to be under the Disney label. So, there were some things that Deadpool does that, in knowing that Disney kind of has their name on it, they might be a little like, they might stray away from it or have a little bit more control over what he says and does. But I really think that they need to just let Deadpool be Deadpool.
I think there's been enough fans questioning it that, and I mean vocally questioning it, that Disney actually had to come out with a comment today saying that there's room for R-rated films in the Marvel universe.
Good. There should be.
Like Bob Iger, the head honcho.
I was reading about that. Yeah.
Just came out and was just like, cool, totally,
like we're
cool.
Good.
Yeah, there's gonna be R-rated films in the Marvel universe, and I know he's specifically referencing Deadpool. There's probably more to that. I haven't had a chance to get into that because today work, then Star Wars. So that's all I've had time for today. But speaking of Star Wars, earlier I had mentioned that the fanfare.
Sure.
Disney owns Fox. Why not throw the fanfare in front of that now? The 20th Century Fox. Going forward.
Yeah,
I know they
couldn't
couldn't do it for the launch or the premiere, right? Because they already put those reels together and sent them out to all the theaters. But going forward, when they do like the episode 9 or the Han Solo film or whatever, why not throw the little Fox fanfare, 20th Century Fox thing?
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it is technically a merger. It happened. They own it. It's Fox. I mean, it's why would they not throw that up?
I'm just looking at R-rated Disney movies, and one of the biggest R-rated movies, and when I say biggest, I mean one of the most vulgar R-rated movies, was actually a Disney movie, and that was South Park: Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Oh wow!
Awesome. Was that from Miramax?
Oh, I'm just looking at this website. It says 3 movies right here.
Good question. I don't freaking know the answer.
Yeah, why did you have to ruin that?
Sorry, man.
No, Disney movies that were R-rated include South Park, Sleepy Hollow, and Akira.
Akira.
Wow,
was
Akira
a Disney
was-
movie.
I
that's
didn't know
interesting.
that actually. Akira. All right.
Interesting.
And also, they will now own Alien and Predator,
Which are R-rated movies.
which are
most
R-rated
of them.
movies. Yeah, well, they all have been R-rated movies.
Dude.
So
And Terminator.
yeah, it's just Terminator. Arnold wants to do one more and close it out. Alien and Predator. I don't even know how that's gonna work because there's a movie called Predator coming out, and I don't know how that affects that movie. I mean, because technically it's already in production right now. So I don't know how that actually affects what they've already done and where the film's going. And I'm hoping that they don't screw with it because I've heard decent things about it from people that are working on the production. I mean, why would they badmouth it if they're getting paid to work on the set? But from what I heard, a lot of people are actually pretty happy with the way that it's actually going. And it's a big harken back to the way Predator should be. Mm-hmm. I just hope that this whole new deal didn't change anything. That's all I can say about that. I don't really know much more. I just hope that it doesn't screw shit up. So, because I don't know. That's everybody knows that's near and dear to me, like Marvel is to you and stuff. So,
Right.
We'll see what happens. But I mean, I think I would assume they would just continue production as set.
Right.
So
Now that Disney owns Fox, near and dear to my heart, I want to see what they're going to do with the X-Files going forward.
yeah, true, man. Good call out.
So here's where it gets muddy. Fox Broadcasting is not going to Disney.
Oh, it's not.
No.
Oh, okay.
Disney gets the side broadcasting channels like FX.
Mm-hmm.
But the major broadcast like Simpsons and all that stuff, that's all still
gonna
property of
stay
Fox.
Fox? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. I thought that actually went with the merger.
Right. So X-Files is still going to be whatever they're doing with X-Files on
wow.
on TV.
Okay, I didn't know that.
X-Files-
That's good to know.
What I'm interested in seeing is what happens with the X-Files movies, since it's the production house that puts it all together. So that's what's going to interest me is like, is there going to be an X-Files movie and who puts it out? Is it going to be Disney or is it going to be Fox Broadcasting? Like, do they
Right.
open up a new division or whatever? Who knows? Where do those rights go? That's going to be
fair.
that's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, in a way, it's like kind of like almost like payback for all the years that they held the X-Men and Fantastic Four hostage. Now, does Disney have the rights to X-Files movies, and that's Fox's property? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That goes to Disney now
Yeah, weird,
because
right?
that's FX.
Weird.
But then stuff like X-Files, Family Guy, and The Simpsons stays Fox.
Yeah.
Why do they still make The Simpsons? I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but they still make a new Simpsons. And to me, whenever I see a Simpsons episode on TV, it's like I'm watching The Price is Right before they switch to Drew Carey. It's like, am I watching a new episode or am I watching something from 1970?
Yeah. It's a very interesting show it's interesting that is still on and running with new stuff.
I know I'm going on a side note. I just feel like once South Park and Family Guy came out, are people still big into The Simpsons? That's a topic for another time.
There are people out there that still watch that
Hence
religiously.
why it's still
Well,
on.
it's still on, yeah, because it still gets a lot of airtime. So
Came out in 1989,
89.
right?
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was later than that. but-
Yeah. Eventually, some of the vocal talenters, they're just going to die, and they're going to
Well-
have to bring in other people.
Well, Nancy Cartwright is still doing Bart Simpson.
Yeah,
That's
she's-
a woman, in case anybody didn't know that.
And Yeardley Smith is still doing Maggie. You know what? That's for another time. Good job, Simpsons.
Yeah, what is that? How many years is that?
89? That's
89, 99, 2009.
28?
Yeah, about that. Oh my God, that's insane. So I guess we'll see what happens with all the new changes. I'm excited about Fantastic Four though, because that will probably get like a real movie.
Yeah, give me some real Doctor Doom.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, did you notice that he is actually like a main character in Runaways?
Doctor Doom?
The guy who played him in the first
yes,
movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
isn't that crazy? Like I saw him and I was like, "Oh God, he's still acting? Like good for him."
When
Yeah,
you say
dude.
the first movie, do you mean the one with Jessica Alba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the guy who played Dr. Doom is
Yeah, not the
now-
Roger Corman one,
Yeah.
where Doom was like a flamenco dancer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, well, I know you're not watching Runaways, but he's in that. So, which Runaways is actually very good, but we've already talked about that. But crazy, I saw him and I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah,
Word.
He looks a lot older now.
He does look older.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what happens, as
Yeah.
time passes.
Were you ever a fan of like Buffy and
No.
and shit like that? I used to watch that shit on TV. It was fun.
No.
You?
No.
All right. Good show. Joss Whedon, great writer,
Oh, yeah.
bad human being. But I mean, you've read about like all the shit that
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
going
it's
through,
just
right?
funny, yeah.
So yeah, the
Is he sexually assaulting people?
no, he just like he's so I didn't really want to like go down that rabbit hole, but just to sum it up,
Just like
he
in
was
5 words.
yeah, he was a self-proclaimed feminist, right? And all of his like he tried to show that in his films and TV shows by making like these great female lead characters and showing how strong women are and supporting them. And then he turns out to be a womanizer.
Yep.
Sorry, you had a spider just get on your face, and I just murdered it.
Word.
Yeah, it was like
if you
coming
didn't,
down.
If you didn't hear that, I had a spider just get on my face, and he murdered it. That was probably the best explanation for why somebody clapped their hands over my head in the history of people clapping their hands over my head.
Yeah, because you probably would have freaked out. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a huge one, but it was still like a decent.
Dude, I'm a Spider-Man fan, so I don't usually freak out when spiders jump on my head.
You just hope that you get radioactive like powers.
Exactly.
It's okay.
I hope I wake up jacked. like Tobey Maguire. Look in the mirror like,
everything's fine. I clearly worked out for 5 months and
In my
they
sleep.
stopped shooting. Yeah. How did he not wake up and just feel his whole muscles like building? Like, I feel like he was like he's tweaking out, dreaming about spiders while he's just getting ripped.
dude.
I'm sorry I acted like a Black Widow was coming down
No,
on
it's
you.
cool. It's cool. I'm interested. You know what else I'm interested in with this deal? What how it affects streaming? Because owning Fox actually puts them in a majority ownership of the networks that are on Hulu. So that kind of puts them in control there.
Well, what I heard is that Disney is preparing to launch their own streaming site.
Right, but wouldn't it be interesting if that streaming site turned into Hulu and like they've already got shit established there? They
It's-
just move stuff into Hulu and now all of a sudden it's their shit.
It's possible, but you have to consider what Netflix is going to start losing. Because they're definitely going to lose all of their Marvel content.
Anything from Disney.
Yeah,
Any Star Wars stuff.
Yep, Star Wars.
You
so,
just said you were going to watch Rogue
Rogue
One.
One, that's going to be gone. They just dropped It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Now, I was reading, and I was pretty sure that I read that that stuff like The Simpsons and X-Files were going to Disney. and that's one of the reasons why you're no longer going to see Family Guy and The Simpsons on Netflix, is it'll go to Disney streaming.
I'm not sure because they announced the deal today.
Sure.
I'm going to repeat that I worked, then went to see Star Wars. So
Which takes precedence over
anything.
else.
Like I haven't looked at a whole lot of like details on stuff, but I'm going by like what I've read about what the merger entailed going up until today. And then what we've talked about today, like just in passing with other people. So I take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but it's mostly accurate. Somewhat, some of it may be a little weird, but I know for sure most of it at least is totally accurate. Like the characters that they're gonna get, things like that. Ooh, Highlander.
Mm-hmm.
Fox owns Highlander. Now Disney owns Highlander.
There can only be one.
They can only be one. Well, now there might be two. We might get a reboot.
Yeah.
All right. I could see that happening.
I'm excited.
There can only be two.
Wait, what?
I just saw Highlander a month ago. Just watched it. It's uncanny how Christopher Lambert looks exactly the same as Thomas Jane.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
They are the same goddamn person.
It probably is.
Yep. Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably like went into like cryostasis and then was like woke up and was like, I can't be Christopher Lambert anymore because if I am, like nobody's, you know, I mean, I have to be Thomas Jane because like I look so young.
But I have the same level of acting throughout either.
Crazy tie-in. Christopher Lambert was actually in the film Mortal Kombat. And what's going on with Mortal Kombat regarding pop figurines?
Excellent. Yeah.
Figures, pop
Whatever.
figures.
Whatever.
I know that there's a
People
big.
know what the fuck we're talking about.
There's a lot of people out there who like the pop Funko figurines, and they just recently, a week ago, dropped the brand new line of Mortal Kombat Funko figurines.
Why do you keep saying figurines?
I can't help it. I'll just say the pop figures.
Pop
Yeah.
figures, yeah.
The new pop figures have come out, and they include Raiden, Kitana, Liu Kang,
Ooh, how's Raiden
Sub-Zero,
look?
Scorpion. He looks traditional Raiden.
All right,
Yep.
cool.
You got the rice hat.
Yep. He's got the.
All right, cool. So he's got the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
you have to
They
have
all-
the hat.
They all look the way they should.
Well, sometimes he doesn't have the hat.
And then you have the exclusives for the pop enthusiasts that look for the more rare stuff. They have a Sub-Zero Scorpion combination where Sub-Zero is on fire and Scorpion is frozen. They have an exclusive Goro figurine. It's one of the larger pop figures.
Nice.
There's also a special Sub-Zero that has like ice coming out of his hands. And there's a special 8-bit Raiden that looks like he might have looked on like a classic Nintendo.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I like that.
I'm actually a big fan of. I probably want to get like Sub-Zero with ice in his hand, or I'd probably want, because he's my favorite character, and I'd want to get Goro.
Also,
I think that's cool.
One more. There's also another hard to find Scorpion with his mask off.
Oh,
and
the
it's
skull.
the skull on fire.
That's awesome.
Nice.
But you said you bought the Sub-Zero Scorpion combination
Yeah,
at GameStop
I
for like
did.
$20.
Yeah,
But it's on Walmart.com for $60.
currently.
That's insane, right? I just
Crazy.
feel
People love collectibles,
But
so the second they're hard to find, the price just jacks
well,
right
how?
up.
But so
It's like
when,
stocks.
Yeah, but when did you get the GameStop one?
A week ago, I got it. What's today? I got it a week from today.
So I'm just wondering if that was something that they released, that, like they jacked up the price just because it was online,
Christmas.
or like I just feel like in a week they jacked it up $40. Like I don't know.
Well, no. Where did you find it? On GameStop.com?
No,
or?
you bought yours at GameStop for $20,
Yes.
and on Walmart.com it's $60.
Yeah, Walmart.com actually will give you like market value.
Really?
Yeah, Walmart is kind of shady that way on their website. Like I've seen a bunch of stuff like that
Like
doesn't
marked
sell.
up?
It doesn't sell for retail. It sells for like what it goes for.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good
Like
to know.
oh, well, people are getting this much, so we're going to get this much too. Like that's what they. But if you find it in the store, then you'll get it at retail.
Awesome. Yeah, because I'll have to check that out. Because if I can get that combo for $20, that's worth it to me.
Yeah.
Even though I don't collect a ton of pop figures, I probably would spend some money on those because those are. I'm just a huge Mortal Kombat fan. But yeah, man. So I guess we can look forward to those. Do they now? I mean, are they selling like well from what you know?
I would assume so. I was at the mall. I bought them. I bought my Sub-Zero Scorpion combination, and I actually had several people come up to me asking me where I got them, and I went into a couple different stores, GameStop, Newbury Comics, Hot Topic. I went into FYE, and the people that worked there commented on what I had and that they had already sold out of everything. I went to Newbury Comics and they were sold out.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you like grabbed yours just at the right moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sick, man. Like, if they were sold out, that's kick ass. Yeah, man. These are cool. I mean, you can go on Amazon and check them out, but these, I'm definitely going to be getting some of these. Sick, man. Yeah, that's really cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of pop figurines or if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, which me and Tony are just deathly in love with that genre.
I love pop vinyls, man. They're like I actually go back to Mighty Mugs. I don't know if you ever saw those, Jim.
Mighty Mugs?
Yeah.
Like to drink coffee out of?
No. They're actually like the original pop vinyls from Hasbro.
Oh, you know what? I've seen them around your house.
Yeah, they're downstairs.
Yeah,
I have
those
that
are
whole
cool.
shelf full of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
of
those are
course.
cool. Yeah, those are pretty awesome.
Yeah, that I wish they never stopped making them, man. They were really cool. But
Well, now
I mean,
they're gonna be worth
now I'm starting
something.
to get into those. But yeah, we're about to wrap up. But before we do, how about some old school shit?
Yeah, man. Old school.
We're about to go old school.
So,
Bring that beat back.
with that being said, we're going to play a game of Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Cooley,
Yeah.
do you want to take the first? We'll do 3 questions apiece.
Sure.
All right, word. Here we go. Would you rather have 1 testicle or have 3 testicles?
Well, I'm already down like half a testicle, so I'm gonna say. I mean, I think I could go with 1. I mean, whatever. It's fine.
You're down half one?
Yeah,
All right.
I told you that story, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get into that on another episode because it's a long one.
All right. All right. So have 1 testicle, and let's see what. 46% of people disagree with you.
So I have the upper hand here. Like the majority of people agree with me.
Well, no, actually, it's 40. Actually, I might have said that wrong. 46% would rather have 1 testicle. 54% would rather actually have 3.
All right.
So,
yeah, I don't know what you would do with 3 testicles. I mean, think about this,
Yeah.
right? When you get kicked in the nuts, that shit hurts. It's gonna hurt 3 times as much with 3 testicles.
Well, you ever seen that
Agreed.
thing in like Spencer Gifts back in the day, or like at the Museum of Science, where like you lift up one of those balls and it go ding, ding, ding? I feel like that's going to happen with your nuts, and it's just going to hurt all day.
Yeah, I'm cool with 1. I mean,
So-
it'll
Two
hurt
com-
half as much.
2 completely different places, by the way. Spencer's Gifts or the Museum of Science.
Well, those are the 2 places that I would like see that shit, man. Like Spencer Gifts already has like weird shit, but then like the gift shop at the Museum of Science already has, because that's like a science thing, how that actually works.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So next question: would you rather vote for Clinton or vote for Trump?
I'd rather vote for Clinton.
All right. And let's see. 64% of people agree with you.
All right.
All right. That was easy.
Where the fuck were you when it was time to actually make the decision?
There we go.
There you go.
All right. Would you rather live 1 life of 1,000 years or live 10 lives of 100 years each?
Oh, that's a good one. In succession?
Sure.
It depends. Do I come back as the same person
I think that's open to
10
interpretation.
times?
Open to interpretation.
I mean, if I come back as the same person 10 times, right? I'd rather live one life of 1,000 years because dying 10 fucking times is gonna suck. Right. And then you got to go through all the fucking baby shit back to the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. Just give me the 1,000 years. But if and then there's the other thing. Do I age like a regular person? Because like if I do, then I really don't want to live to 1,000 years old because it looks like just living to 80 sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to do that either. So I don't know. It really all depends. You can't ask a fucking question like that. That's
No, I just did.
Plus, you're gonna watch everybody that you've ever loved die, and not just like the first people you've ever loved, but you're gonna go through 9 generations of people you love.
And I think also like, but everybody around you is going to be like, "Yo, man, how are you doing this? How are you still alive?" You're the oldest person ever. So,
ancient Chinese secret, bro.
You're gonna be living on a spaceship, and Earth is gonna be no more, and you're gonna be like, "I remember when we used to use toasters."
So
What's a toaster?
So
What's Earth? That's
So what do you
say.
decide?
I'm going with live 10. Live
All
10
right.
lives of 100 years apiece because I'm thinking about it and it's like I wouldn't want to live past 80.
Got you.
So,
Well, 70% of people agree with you.
Cool.
All right, Jim, here we go. 3 questions.
My turn.
All right. Would you okay. These are weird questions.
These are
They're
hard.
Not even making any sense. Okay. Would you rather take anal from Donald Trump or give anal to Donald Trump?
Wow, they really ramped up my questions, huh? If I had to choose between the two,
Yeah.
I would butt fuck Donald Trump. I would make him bleed.
Jesus. All right. Make him pay for it, basically.
That doesn't have anything to do with politics. I want to fuck him till his toupee just pops off.
All right, man. Well,
It's huge.
that's the worst impression ever, but it was perfect. Huge. All right, so 66% of people
I love you,
agree
baby.
with you. All right. Would you rather? This is the question. Would you rather Chevy cars or would you rather Ford cars? So I guess like would you Chevy or Ford? I don't know, man. It's personal preference.
I guess it is. That's kind of a truck guy thing, isn't it?
Mm.
I currently drive a Chevy Monte Carlo, and it's lasted a while. I have no reason to go against that. I've never owned a Ford, so we'll say Chevy.
All right, man. Fair enough. And 42% of people agree with you. Most people would say Ford, probably because their commercials are like a rock. They make it all to be this badass truck. But anyway, all right. Let's get your last question. All right. Would you rather die by 100-foot fall or die by a needle?
Man, these are harsher than coolies. I would rather die by the 100-foot fall. I'm going to assume that I can make my choice as to how I land, and it will be head first. And that's just instant death, gone, blackout, closed casket.
Closed casket.
I feel like the needle, again, is open to interpretation, and it's either one small, horribly placed needle or just a gigantic, like, stalagmite of a needle.
Or like just an injection.
Oh, I never looked at it that way.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh. Well, yeah, if it's like lethal injection, yeah, I'll go with that.
I like where you went with it, though.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, why?
When you were like just a needle, I assumed someone was just gonna like take one and like put it through my eye and be like, "Ah!" like that scene in like Fire in the Sky where D.B. Sweeney is just gonna get drilled into his eye, and I'm like, I don't feel that. I'd rather just kind of splat and But the lethal injection would be better because then at least like my mom and my brother can see my body and be like, that's a stuffed version of the person I loved.
Or you could be dying at the table. They like pull the curtain. They like they can watch you die. Jesus. All right.
I'm like, I chose this, Mom. Goodbye.
All right. So here we go. I got 3 questions. And I know Cooley's going to look for some really messed up ones because he always does. So I'm just going to wait until he talks.
Would you rather go through plastic surgery or have no mom? Yo, it's the weirdest question, but but would you rather go through plastic surgery or have no mom?
I go through plastic surgery and I don't know, like fix maybe something I don't want if I had to. Yes, I'll say plastic surgery.
What would you fix if
I
you
have
had to
no
go through
idea,
plastic
dude.
surgery?
I'd have to actually think about it. I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, go through plastic surgery. 81%. Interesting.
What?
Moms are
81%.
important.
Agree with me.
Yeah.
All right, word. All right, sweet.
Yep. My mom passed away.
I'm sorry.
On a side note,
I still have
note.
mine, and I
fuck. It was like depressing.
Just saying. Yo, I have to ask this just to ask it because it's mad, like, weird. Yo, would you rather fuck child or fuck sibling?
which could be the same thing.
Is that a question for me, or are you just asking it because it's weird?
Just throwing it out there.
You have to choose one.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna make a man
answer
mad.
that shit.
Yeah, I'd rather fuck my sibling.
It just so happens he's 10 years old.
It's not even grammatically correct.
No.
On those grounds, I will not answer it.
Would you rather go to the bathroom every 30 minutes or don't go to the bathroom every 30 minutes?
All right, every 30 minutes, I would probably say don't go to the bathroom every 30 minutes. But even if I chose the other one, it wouldn't be much different than what I already do.
Oh shit! You got one more, man. You got one more coming. Fucking so bad at making these questions. Would you rather I love soccer or I love football? Like these, you got people out here trying to make life choices in here. Like, would you rather own a computer or own a gaming console? Help me. Jesus Christ. Would you rather? This is a question for you,
All right.
Tone. Would you rather never have to use the bathroom or never get in trouble?
Never get in trouble.
Yeah, because going to the bathroom, like, we're so used to that shit. Like,
Yeah,
I
I'm
grew
used
up with
to
it.
it. But I like if I never got in trouble. Like if I just like was like, yo.
I mean, I'm also used to getting in trouble, so I don't know which one I'd rather get rid of.
I enjoy the bathroom. I don't know why I'm raising my hand, but like sometimes that release is wanted.
Yeah, but I mean, like, also just like if I was speeding on the highway and got pulled over, like
This motherfucker has Keanu Reeves as, what's his name?
yeah, John Wick. Bro.
John Wick on his fucking wallpaper. It's just funny because it just showed up. I got this fucking evil Keanu Reeves staring at me with guns in his face.
Hell yeah,
He's
man, John
timeless.
Wick. No, but no, but I feel like if I was speeding and got pulled over, and then the cop came up and he was like, "Keep going," like I would just like, or like he just like pulls me over to be like, "How's your day going? Enjoy it."
No, they pull you over and they're like, "Oh, it's you.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Have a good day."
Clean that blood off the bumper.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Or
Oh,
not.
man.
I can't do anything about it.
Well, that's it, guys. That about wraps it up for the day.
And stick around for our interview with our Revenge of the Nerds friend. And there you go.
With our Revenge of the fucking Nerds.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
Goodbye
Later.
for life.
It's always something about goodbye forever. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tony from the Redbeard Podcast, hanging out here at Rhode Island Comic-Con with Andrew Cassese from the iconic 80s film Revenge of the Nerds. What's going on, Andrew?
Oh, chilling out, man. Having a great time at the con.
Yeah, is this your first time in Rhode Island?
Not my first time in Rhode Island, but first time like spending any real time here. When I was in my 20s, I was learning to be a pilot, and landing at Providence was one of the things you had to do in the triple leg to get your certification. So I landed here for about 20 minutes and then took off.
In TF Green Airport?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And so I've never really spent any time here. And it's really cool city.
All right. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely.
And do we definitely have an accent, as people say that we do?
You know, I don't think so. I've noticed a few Boston accents.
Okay.
But I haven't really, mostly it's how I talk. But I'm from the Northeast.
Okay.
So maybe I just don't hear it.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
I have a little Long Island. I slip into a little Long Island once in a while. So, it's
all
good.
All right. So I just a couple of questions, man, about this film that you were in. That it's just so well known. How old were you when you shot this film, or the film was shot?
I was 11 and 12. I turned 12 on the set.
All right.
During the filming, we filmed it in February, March, I think, and I'm born in February. And they had a little party for me. They got me a Mr. Mike. I remember because I'm just a loud vocal kid, always singing and stuff. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and how did you get the gig? Was this your first gig that you had ever had, or?
No. I was in a Broadway show at the time, and I had done some commercials and a lot of theater. Really, I was a New York-based theater actor, and then this was the first movie I did. I don't think it was the first movie audition I got, but it was the first one that I landed, and it was a pretty lucky experience. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think my favorite scene in the movie with you is when you're at the party and you're just between the two girls. It's
my
still
favorite scene too.
I bet it was. It was just. It always makes me laugh. It's just hilarious. Just the look on your face when you towards the camera and just smile. It's awesome, man. So, so how many times did you have to shoot that scene?
We shot that. I don't remember. We shot it a bunch of times. I think about maybe 4 or 5 times. To get because it's a long little speech there, and so to get that all smooth and nice, we did it a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make mistakes on purpose?
Secretly between you and me? Yeah. No, I didn't.
I think one of the good things about this film is that, even watching it as recently as last night, everything still holds up really well. It just doesn't seem to really. Nothing really seems to die. All the themes are still there. Everything is still very relevant.
It has a very universal message, I think, that everyone can relate to, and it's got a great not a feel good ending. It's got a feel great ending.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of it. It really sends off on a great note where you just feel great about who you are and everybody. It's really life affirming, I think. So that's a positive that it has.
I had asked one of your co-stars, Robert Carradine, about this earlier. That scene at the end where that speech happens and everybody comes out. I think it's just one of the most iconic points of the movie. And I think back then this movie wasn't really. It was the first movie that kind of brought the whole nerd thing to the forefront and addressed it.
Yeah, it was one of the first times that nerds were presented as the heroes of a movie instead of being like the side character comedy relief. And I think people really responded to that. They were like, "Hey, that's me up there," and I identify with these people because we all identify with nerds, and we all feel like that inside, sometimes at least, or all the time sometimes. So I think it just really connects with people on that level.
Did you feel that after that movie, did you think it was going to be as big as it was when you guys were making it?
Well, I was a kid, and it's my first movie, so I have no idea what to expect.
Right.
It's all just new to me. Certainly no one thought it was going to be, anybody would be talking about it 30, 35 years later, that anybody would even remember it. So no one expected that. But I do remember we went to the premiere in New York City, or a premiere in New York City, and the crowd they just went wild. And that was the first inkling that I had. It was like, oh, this is going to be good. People were responding to it. The crowd went nuts. So especially at the end, so no one expected it to be what it is, and it's just been a tremendous blessing and a very lucky thing.
All right, and I got one more question for you.
Sure.
Sure.
Two more questions.
Two more questions. Everybody always likes, behind the scenes secrets. Was there anything really funny that you remember that happened behind the scenes you could let our listeners in on?
When you're a kid on a movie set, there's a lot of rules. You have to go to school all the time. So I missed some of the shenanigans, I think. But these guys were like older brothers to me, and they would hook me up and sort of hide me from the production people sometimes, which was really cool. But I kind of missed the debauchery and the revelry because. But I do remember being at a party one time. I think it was in Larry's room or maybe it was Robert's room, and me and my mom was there because my mom is traveling with me. And we're having a great time at the party. Everybody's having a great time, but the Larry at one point takes my mom aside and says, "You're not going to want to be here in 20 minutes." So that's the kind of thing. So
awesome.
I was aware that stuff was going on, but it's hard to, they were shielding me from it for good reason.
All right, good stuff.
So you're 11, moving on to 12, right? By the time everything's wrapped up. You get done with the movie, you do your tours, your signings, all that stuff. You get back into the world, right? Growing up from that point, were you legendary amongst your peers, amongst your
yes and
your
no. Yes,
friends?
I would say I was perhaps a legend in that people knew who I was, who I never knew,
Because there were kids that never saw a boob before, and you're sitting, you're in between two pairs, and you're just like, yeah, right? This is like real stuff for kids your age at 12 years old.
Well, not most of them weren't allowed to see it.
Right.
So it's an R-rated movie, and really, if you watch it last night, it wouldn't even get an R rating today.
No.
It would be a lot worse than that. So they really slipped it under the radar. But nobody really knew. None of my peers had seen the movie or could see the movie. They just knew that I had been out for a couple months from school, and now I'm back. And but there was buzz. Everybody was talking about it, but it wasn't always positive attention. A lot of it was negative attention. Oh, you're that nerd. You're that kid. And I certainly lived the part. I was a nerd, a huge nerd. So I caught a lot of heat for it.
Right.
And it was a little rough because you get a lot of that attention at that age. But I survived it. And everybody goes through stuff like that, and so it just makes you stronger, and you just grow up fast.
I just noticed that your photo is that exact scene.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, absolutely.
When he looks at the camera. Yeah,
that's it.
It's great, man. Dude, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, man. This was a great interview.
My pleasure.
All right, man.
Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
It's great talking to you guys.